I'm back with another black shirt, and since I'm currently working on a month-long project instead of a bi-weekly project, I've decided to talk about something a little different today. Silksong is our savior. It's a game that released last month and broke the biggest digital video game distribution platforms and my sleeve schedule. With hundreds of thousands of cells provided, you can be sure that the 3 developers will keep their job. A phenomenon like this is very important to take notes from because lions of the industry like Ubisoft, ePay, PlayStation, Xbox, and so forth might once and for all understand that their vision of pushing the industry forward isn't exactly what's better for the industry. I believe that if they want to sell more games to their customers, they shouldn't focus on improving the quality of your graphics, but instead improve the human connections we can establish because of your game. Especially in a world where human connections become more and more important due to the growing number of artificial intelligence. And I'm not saying that studios should start making multiplayer games. Silksong is proof of a game that creates an enormous amount of human connections because it rallied people through shared experiences in the world they commonly enjoy. Its predecessor, Hollow Knight, established the connections to bring the fans back to its sequel, Silksong. But if you come from the same perspective as Tony Polanco from his Tom's Guide article, I can see why you won't understand the importance of Silksong. Tony explains that he never played Hollow Knight, and so when he tried Silksong, he didn't completely understand its popularity. He missed out on what makes Silksong so important: the community. Look at all the fan art, the discussions, the content surrounding this game. People love to express their perspective on Hollow Knight, so when Silksong was announced, it was another opportunity for people to connect. This game rallied people just by being fun, beautiful, immersive, and mysterious. But another concept very important to its success, and another reason why it brings so many people together, is because of its cheap price. $20. 2 Big Mac combos that you'll finish in one sitting, you lazy, tasteless consumer. This makes the game very accessible, and it's part of a used to be cheap subscription model, compared to industry lions selling their games above $80. So, hear me out, and you're not gonna like what I'm about to say, but a price difference like this creates inequality between social classes, since a lot more people can afford to play Silksong instead of Mario Kart World, which is also locked behind an expensive console. Now, to really understand what's happening with Silksong, I want to bring a concept from Langdon Winner, a political theorist who wrote about the politics of technology. Winner argues that technologies aren't neutral, they always have politics built into them, and he divides this into 2 categories. Category 1 is about winners and losers. When a new technology appears, some groups gain power and others loses it. When the mechanical tomato harvester appeared, big farms won, small farms and workers lost because they lost their job or they couldn't compete with machinery. If we apply this to Silksong, the winners are clear. Team Cherry, a 3-person indie studio, proves that they can compete with massive companies. Players who get access to top quality game at just $20. And the indie movement as a whole, which gains prestige and recognition from Silksong's success. But they are losers. Big AAA studios. Suddenly, they look out of touch. Their cultural authority is weakened. They can no longer claim that only big budgets and photorealistic graphics define quality. Silksong shows that you can make a beautiful, immersive, community-driven game for a fraction of that price. This shift makes the big studio look greedy and disconnected from what people actually want. Category 2 goes further. Winner says technology doesn't just create winners and losers, they also rearrange power structures. Nuclear power, for example, requires centralized authority, in other words, authority based on hierarchy, while solar panels allow decentralized local control. The design of a technology supports certain kinds of social organization. In the case of Silksong, the power structure of the gaming industry is being rearranged. Instead of AAA studios holding all the authority, a tiny indie team is setting the cultural agenda. Players and communities gain more symbolic power too. Their support shape what counts as a successful game. And this forces big corporations to rethink their strategies because the rules of the games are shifting under them. So when we look at Silksong through Winner's lens, it's not just a fun new release. It's a media artifact, a cultural event, a social change that creates new winners and losers, and redistributes economic power in gaming. Why does all this matter? It matters because media should bring people closer, not divide them. Media should facilitate human connections. We are social creatures. So when you're creating your new game, ask yourself this: how could you promote shareable experiences? 2 cells is better than 1. Stay flesh.